this entire video is going to be focused on cannabis stocks and the entire cannabis sector. Before you do anything, make sure you tap the like button if you are enjoying this content, because I really didn't want to make a video on this subject, as I don't want my channel flagged, or I don't want the algorithm to be messed up for my channel. I don't really care about the money that I make from these videos, but I've had a lot of requests. Either way, this video is coming out, guys. We're going to be talking about a stock trading at 4 cents, an OTC play with a tiny $6 million market cap. They are forecasting $7 million in annual revenue for 2024 and say they actually can potentially exceed this number and this goal of $7 million for the year. Just recently, they signed an exclusive distribution agreement with one of the largest licensed cannabis distillate providers in California. This is very big. We actually have a video of their entire facility, which is very big, that they do have this exclusive distribution agreement with. We had some very exciting news come out this morning as well. So this is my #1 OTC play for this sector. Another cannabis play trading under $3 that has the biggest and best balance sheet that I've ever seen for a high market cap company, as they have well over $1.1 billion in total assets compared to only $40 million in total liabilities. So this is one of the top cannabis stocks we have to talk about. I'm going over a lot of plays like this, and also my favorite, marijuana ETF. So if it's a very highly competitive space, if you want to invest in the top 4 cannabis names, you can do that with an ETF. It's much safer. And you're not going to have these big gains like a 50 or 100% gainer off an individual stock, but it's much safer, and you're investing in the top name stocks for the sector and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you that one. Since 2019, a lot of these this whole sector is probably down 90%, maybe a little less, since the sector's heating up right now. I'll be talking about all the catalysts that could potentially make this entire sector continue to break out. I've been watching it a very long time, just didn't want to make a video on it, but I've had a lot of requests, so I'm finally doing it. So just recently, we had weed legalization for recreational use in Germany, which just took effect, and here's what you need to know. We're going to talk about that, guys. So adults over 18 in Germany can legally possess up to 25 grams of dried cannabis and cultivate up to 3 marijuana plants at home. And beginning July 1st, adults can also join not-for-profit social clubs where they can buy up to 25 grams of cannabis with a cap of 50 grams per month. That is 30 grams for members under 21 years old. This new law went into effect on April 1st. And guys, there's a lot of catalysts. Not only that, we have the 420 holiday coming up in a few weeks, which obviously is going to increase the sales of this plant and potentially even, stocks in this sector and everything like that. So that's a catalyst coming up already. As of right now, this is a Schedule 1 drug, which is really crazy. It should be a Schedule 3 drug, and this could potentially get changed, with elections coming up. This could be changed, hopefully or potentially within a few months. And just off that alone, this entire sector would absolutely explode. So the Biden administration is pushing this really hard with the DEA, because they want this to be removed from a Class 1 scheduled substance. As a Schedule 1 substance, it is actually considered just as or more dangerous than fentanyl and other substances that it shouldn't even be compared to. So Kamala Harris is actually pushing in this direction, as well as the entire Biden administration. So that's something to look at. Not only that, Canada is actually debating lower taxes on recreational use of this as well. Right here you can see on this article, Canadian cannabis companies could see valuations soar by up to 300% with tax reform. New report shows. This came out a week ago. You stay tuned. Make sure you watch this entire video, because near the end, I'm going to show you at least 6 different of the most popular stocks in this sector that could continue to explode. Definitely have to see these. Seeing all these hypes, a lot of these cannabis stocks are up 100%, 200%. Some of these up almost 300% in the last month alone. A lot of these are heating up, and we still have more catalysts to go over, and stocks, and reasons why the sector can continue to go up. Now, we just had the weed legalization in Germany. Also, this just came out recently too. Florida will vote on marijuana legalization's initiative in November. So the Florida Supreme Court on Monday gave its approval to an initiative to legalize recreational use of this, clearing the way for the measure to appear on the ballot for the November general election. So another huge catalyst stock I want to talk about in this sector is RWGI, trading at 3 cents Road Dog International Industries Inc. We have a lot of updates, actually some that just came out recently this morning. But just on February 26th, they signed an exclusive distribution agreement with D9 LLC, which is one of the largest. Let me zoom this in real quick. But this is one of the largest licensed cannabis distillate providers in California. They're proud to inform the shareholders that after months of negotiations, they finally signed this agreement for Parabola Management, hope I said that right, LLC, to be the exclusive distributor. They are confident that our strategy, planned roadmap of expansion via sales, acquisitions, and mergers. So they have acquisitions and mergers actually planned as well. But they say this will increase 2024 revenues to meet and potentially exceed our stated goals of $7 million annually. And their commitment is to provide regular updates for their shareholders as we complete our 2024 roadmap milestone, which I am going to go over. Considering, so trading at 3 cents and considering their market cap is under $7 million, and they're actually predicting to do that in revenue or even exceed that. This one is, undervalued off that alone. And something I want to show you here, 500 million authorized shares with only 212 million outstanding shares. So if you actually look at their latest filing, as of September 30th in 2023, they had 184 million outstanding shares. So that went up 10 million, which is not a lot for an OTC company. So dilution hasn't been an ongoing concern. And actually look at this right here, as of 2022, and as of the quarter ending September 2022, they only had 181 million outstanding shares. Almost 2 years or something like that, they've only diluted around 30 or 40 million shares at most, which is not that much for an OTC company, especially one that is growing through acquisitions and has a lot of big projects and a very big roadmap. Not only that, is saying right here that they only have 40 million unrestricted shares because 170 million of those are locked up. You look at their filing, you can see one person, insider, owns 103 million shares, which is 53% of the entire OS count. Another insider owns 37 million. Another insider owns 20 million. So that leaves the actual float probably around 40 million shares or less, or just around that number. So a very small float, because a lot of these outstanding shares, majority of them are locked up. So that's actually very positive and very big right there as well. Also, they came out with this PR today: accelerates revenue with hemp and cannabis derived isolates sales and manufacturing. They have accelerated their sales of hemp and cannabis derived isolates. They're proud to announce that last quarter, management has invested over 6 figures in developing a manufacturer facility for extraction of cannabis derived isolates from hemp. So they put over 6 figures of their own money out of their own pocket into their own facility. And they say, we have completed the initial test of the equipment, and the company's now at 65% production of the cannabis derivatives and isolates, and their revenues are growing rapidly. Very big news here, and really good to see the management put 6 figures plus of their own money into this company. As you can see, guys, the CAGR, the compound annual growth rate each year, is 16.8% and expected to reach 22 billion by 2026. So a very big, high growing sector for their cannabis extraction market that they are diving head first into. And near the end, I'm actually going to show another update and some videos on their actual projects that this company is working on, some of their facilities and their roadmap as well. I want to show you guys a company that I mentioned previously in the same sector, ticker CRON. I've had a lot of people requesting me to cover this one, but they have a $1.1 billion market cap. And looking on their financials, like I said, their balance sheet is incredible. As you can see, $1.1 billion in total assets. You always add 3 zeros to these numbers. Always remember that. And only $40 million in total liabilities. And they also have, almost $700 million cash on hand, according to the end of 2023. Also have, just under $200 million in short-term investments. This one actually went up, like crazy since the previous year. Looking at their revenue numbers for the past few years, went from 54 million, jumped to 80 million, jumped to 110 million, and jumped to 120 million. But their net profit margins are horrible, need a lot of work. As you can see, lost $155 million in terms of net income. Spent over, on operating costs, spent over $111 million that year. Margins did improve. The following year for 2023, still lost $70 million in net income. So their margins need a lot of work. Assets are pretty much perfect. A lot of different sectors. They're based in Canada, have a lot of different variations of THC products and much more, edibles, just inventing a lot of new items as well, innovative items as well for the sector. So definitely CRON. Definitely one to watch, considering it has the best balance sheet out of pretty much any company you'll see with a high market cap. You probably won't beat the balance sheet. Number one ETF that, based on my research, is ticker MSOS, trading at $10.89, up 4% today. As you can see, like I said, since 2019, this sector has been down a lot, and for the past 3 years, all these top ETFs are down around 30 or 40%, including MSOS is down, 37% in the last 3 years. With all these catalysts and this sector continuing to heat up, starting, this year. So year to date, a lot of these ETFs are up 10%, 8%, or, around 5 to 10% at least. As of March 7th of this year to date, MSOS is up 10.6%, beating all of the other marijuana ETFs. Best performing ETF in the sector by 3-year performance is Cambria Cannabis, ticker TOKE, but the largest ETF in terms of assets under management, which is personally my favorite ETF as of right now, is MSOS. By far the largest ETF in terms of assets under management that invests in companies from across the entire industry, including GW Pharmaceuticals, cannabinoid focused medicine, Cronos Group, the company I just talked about, production and distribution of this plant, and they're actually vertically integrated. So what does that mean? It basically means that they do everything in-house, every single step, packing it and then sending it out, shipping it from the door, from growing it, and everything in between. So Canopy Growth, CGC also invested in CGC, which is one of the most popular stocks in the sector, which is actually up around, I believe 240% in the last month. And they're also invested in ticker ACB, which is Aurora Cannabis, which includes the product development and production. This one is up well over 120% in the last 30 days. I believe had a very big day yesterday and is one of the most popular stocks. So definitely check out MSOS if you want to be diverse in your holdings. If you want to just get an individual plays, ticker CGC, Canopy Growth Corporation, is up 270% in the last month. This is definitely the hottest cannabis stock as of right now, trading at $10.89, pretty much even for the day. And ticker ACB is up 12% as of today, for the last month up 180%. So you can see the benefit of trading these individual plays as well. You would have yielded a much larger gain than investing in a ETF. Much slower gains, but safer as well and more diverse. But you would have done a lot better investing in these, and still a lot of potential for these to run further. Like I said, with elections coming up, these are going, this could be pushed. With ACB, Aurora Cannabis definitely had a very big jump yesterday, up 80% almost in the last week. TLRY, up 70% in the last month, has been lagging behind the other two, but still definitely worth checking out. Ticker TLRY. Yeah, another one worth looking at is ticker SNDL, which has had tremendous growth in terms of their revenue numbers. As you can see, in 2021 did $46 million in revenue. This jumped to $520 million in 2022 and jumped to just under $700 million for 2023. Always add 3 zeros to these numbers. Still lost a lot of money in terms of their actual net income, but still one of the fastest growing stocks in the sector with aggressive revenue growth year over year. And back in 2019 when Canada came out and legalized this completely, stocks went crazy, and they thought the US and other countries would follow in their footsteps very quickly. This didn't actually happen. A few states in the US actually came through and legalized the recreational use. What happened was illegal growers actually took the demand and produced it and manufactured it and sold it for much lower cost. So pretty much every single cannabis stock, they're producing high amounts of revenue, but if you look at their margins, all of them are losing, hundreds of millions of dollars each year. Very unprofitable. So this, it's a lot of issues with their margins, operating cost, for weed companies is much higher than any other business. They pay very high taxes, and this is why this is a very competitive market, because I believe over 50% of these companies are unprofitable. A lot of them, like I said, a lot of the biggest name and fastest growing companies in this sector are very unprofitable. And there's a lot of direct competition as of right now in Canada. I believe illegal growers, as of to this day, dominate and control 40% of this entire market there. So let's talk about ticker RWGI, the penny stock OTC play trading at 3 cents in this sector. Let's look at their roadmap. So basically, for the first quarter, or let's just look at the second quarter, since it is April 4th. They want to complete audit monthly revenue reports, estimated $2.5 million, acquire dispensaries, expand cannabis license portfolio, sign cultivators, add manufacturer licenses. So they want to acquire more dispensaries. That's very big. And then for Q3, monthly revenue reports, estimated $3 million, launch manufacturing, increase license portfolio, expand number of delivery drivers and elixir outlets. For Q4 2024 fiscal year end video and financial reports, expand retail, expand wholesale, acquire revenue producing assets. It looks like 2025 they want multi-state operations and S1 registration. Their video, this is back when they signed this exclusive contract for their cannabis distillates with D9 LLC. So I'm going to show this video right here.
Hi, this is Chris Swartz, CEO of Road Dog, out here in Coachella Valley, California, in front of D9, announcing that we're going to be their exclusive distribution partner. This will drastically increase our revenues by the first quarter of 2024. All right, let's go inside and have a little walkthrough. All right, we're in here in the lobby. And we're walking back. There's actually 3 rooms here of extraction, very high-end pharmaceutical grade chromatography equipment, as you can see in here. This is one of the rooms here. Wow, it smells like weed out here. So this is where the majority of the processing is done out here in a series of trailers. So these machines are working all day, every day. All right, so I showed you some of the extraction equipment and the capacity here. Obviously, they do a lot of extracts here. We're going to be distributing all of that product.
My number one OTC cannabis sector type play. If you watched that one and the other ones I mentioned in this video, guys, if you did make it this far, you probably didn't make it this far. This is a very long video. I didn't mean to make it this long. Just a lot of information I wanted to cover. And guys, that's it for the video. Let me know what you think about these plays, any other sectors you're watching and other stocks you're watching in the comments, and I will see you on the next video.